Hi, I'm Christina. Thank you for watching Make Something Small. This week we're going to be working on my to-do list. And one of the things I've been talking about every time I finish making a pattern or something is I need to upload it to Spoonflower. I need to redo my Etsy store. I need to add it to my Etsy shop through Printify. I have 2 patterns I need to fix, and I have not done any of those things so far. So this week, that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be working on my to-do list, so come and join me and work along with me if you want to, and with your own project, and maybe we can get something done this week. Okay, we're going to start out here in Affinity by Canva, and I am in the Heron Lines pattern that I needed to correct. Now, when I last looked at this, when I had uploaded it to Spoonflower, it looked like there was a couple of little lines that weren't connected, and then there was one line that was heavier than the others. Now, when I look at this now in Affinity, it looks like I actually fixed the little lines at some point that weren't connected, but I still have that heavy line that is still there. And now originally this part of the video, when I was screen recording, this took me an hour to correct this. It took me an hour to find this line, going through trial and error. I'm not going to do this for an entire hour. But I'm just going to talk through right now. What I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out how to get to the nodes on this particular line, the one that's heavier than the other ones. And so this, what I'm doing at this moment is I selected that node area, and I'm going to try to delete some of the nodes. That did not work, but that is what I'm showing right now, is me just trying to figure out where this line is, what layer it was on. I was going back and forth between both artboards trying to figure out where this line was. So we'll go through this just for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna try to get over to the end where I actually did find the line and decided what I was going to do to fix this. So I'm trying again to delete some of these nodes. I had zoomed in on that thicker line and was just trying to delete those pieces, and nothing was happening. And it was starting to get very frustrating when I just could not figure out where is this line. I don't know how many times I went through each layer before I could find it. My entire thought process right here, where you can see where the line obviously split in two, and I'm looking at the nodes and it's only going on one line, and I'm like, where is this line on the top? Where is this line? That was just what kept repeating over and over again, and I don't know how many times before I almost gave up. I got really frustrated with this. At some point, I realized this thick line was only in one section of the grid. You'll see here when I click on it, it lights up. This means it's supposed to show me the layer in the layer panel, but it didn't. I want to share my thought process, and I was trying to troubleshoot this. You see now that I did erase part of the line. I'm noticing now that in the preview grid on Artboard 2, I have a missing line on Artboard 1, my pattern board, and it's missing in the other 3 sections of the preview Artboard 2. I know now the error is in this section of the Artboard 2, but I didn't know where. 420. Right about here, I decided I would get rid of the entire line, so I deleted it from my pattern Artboard 1. But you can see on my preview artboard in the first section, I still have a line. None of the other sections have that line. I finally found it. You can see the line highlighted above Artboard 2 on the left. That's the rogue line. I deleted it, and I just decided I was not going to put a line under that bird. Once I found the line, deleted it, and verified everything looked okay, I wanted to check the full pattern again and make sure it was seamless. So I exported the image on Artboard 2 and made a new document 6,000 by 6,000 pixels. I imported the image over and resized it, then copied it until it filled the new tile. I checked the transform tool to make sure each square was at the right coordinates. I zoomed into the new tile to check the repeat. I'm making sure all the lines connect and nothing overlaps or is cut off. Once I made sure the pattern was seamless, I exported the scaled version and the original version. I also went back and changed the background color, so I would have one dark and one light. Now it's time to update the Etsy shop. I realized when I was checking the blankets I'd uploaded a few weeks ago that some of the listings didn't have all the mock-ups. I checked each listing on Etsy to see which ones didn't have all the photos. Once I finished checking all of the blanket listings, I went into Printify to add in the mock-up photos that were missing and sync the listings again. Once I finished updating all of the mock-ups for the listing, I took a few of the photos and went to Canva and made a video to add to the blanket listings. I checked the video to make sure it was playing correctly before adding it to the Etsy listings. I went through one by one and added the video. All the blanket listings have videos attached. I'm going to attempt to make a multi-product listing on Printify. This will help save money on Etsy because I can list variations together in one listing. I'm going to make listings for throw pillows, and the variations will be the different patterns in this collection. I didn't record putting all of the listings into Printify. I can do it again soon and make a standalone tutorial for doing this. This was my first time trying to make a multi-product listing, and I was trying to follow instructions too. I'm selecting the pillows to the listing, and I discovered I can only have 10 items in one multi-product listing. I have 14 patterns, so I ended up making 2 listings. I used a listing title and description that would apply to the entire collection in the listing. The names on the variations will be what the customers on Etsy will see, so I changed the name of a couple of the designs. I chose to hide in store on Etsy so the listing will go to the drafts in my store manager. Then I made sure to sync all of the product details when the listing goes to Etsy. While the first listing was publishing to Etsy, I went back to the last 4 designs on the pillows and started to make a second multi-product listing. I used Gemini to help me write the listing title and description. I changed the names of the patterns again to make more sense in the order drop-down. Later, I'm going to make pattern swatch mockups to add to the Etsy listings so the customers can see the patterns better. This second multi-product listing didn't take me nearly as long as the first. Here I'm showing a preview of what it will look like on the customer's end on Etsy. You can see the drop down of the pattern name and all of the pillow sizes along with the price. One of the multi-product listings was sent twice to Etsy. I'm not sure why, so I deleted the additional listing from my drafts. I went back into the Etsy listing and changed one of the main photos in the listing to the light version so the listings wouldn't seem so similar. You might notice I'm using some new colors and effects. This is part of the update I'm going to make on both YouTube and Etsy. I'm changing the banners and logo next. Thank you for joining me and getting most of this to-do list done this week. What did you work on? Let me know in the comments. If you have an Instagram or YouTube account, let me know so I can follow you and offer any encouragement. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today. Remember, new videos come out every Friday. And if you would like to subscribe and follow my art journey, please do so and watch this video next.